Welcome, and thank you for joining us at MFS US for the Adult Education Session. My name is Jen Hockey, and I am a MFS coordinator here in Hawaii. I've always been interested in continuing education of any kind, and I would describe myself as a lifelong learner. And I certainly have an education path that encompasses both traditional and non-traditional education along different platforms, in person and online. For example, once I finished my BA in history from Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia, I was 21, and I decided to work for a number of years, as well as pursuing a community college diploma as a paralegal. Then I worked for the Department of Justice for a few years as a legal assistant and paralegal, until I realized I wanted to do more. So I entered law school at the age of 28 at Queen's University. Then after getting my degree, as well as passing the bar in Ontario, I worked for the Department of Justice for 13 years as a lawyer until my husband was posted to Hawaii. So in 2017, we had a big change. And this move required me to take a break from my legal career and offered me a chance to work in a different capacity and to explore a different career path. I ended up working and am still working on certification as a genealogist, which I may pursue as another career path once my legal career is over. So we'll be going back, returning to Canada soon, and I'm going to also be returning to my legal career. And that's going to require a lot of continuing legal education updates from what I've missed over the past couple of years, as well as to update my skills and transition back to work in the legal field with the Department of Justice. So all told, I have had quite a bit of education, but on various platforms, and I also do it for purposes of just interest and hobbies. For example, I'm currently learning how to play the ukulele, being here in Hawaii, and I'm hoping to take a few, hula lessons while I'm here. And certainly other people have taken advantage of the time that they have. Many people end up having time off or more free time when they end up going OUTCAN, especially spouses. So this is a great talk to kind of situate you on where you can do different types of adult education and how to go about it. So I'm going to share my screen for the. There we go. And I am going to give you a little background as well on adult education in general. So adult or continuing learning has never been more in vogue. Adults are also looking increasingly to virtual resources to keep current in their professions, learn a new hobby, or take a course to learn or update skills. Distance learning, also known as online or virtual learning, is gaining popularity, especially in the age of COVID-19. Sometimes having to juggle family, work, and education, as well as learning from home or at the office on a part-time basis, is easier than heading to a classroom as well, and certainly is the safest thing to do in our current environment. In addition, there are numerous different learning opportunities for adults who are looking for personal fulfillment or for interest to develop a new hobby. And once you start looking, you'll find a huge amount of classes online and in person that can be taken, many of which are free. Almost any type of class can now be found online. If you live in a location where traditional brick and mortar college or university courses or in-person learning is not possible. For higher education, a large number of traditional universities have active and growing distance learning programs, both in Canada and the United States, as well as being offered from universities and colleges around the world. Students can attend classes from the comfort of their home, though sometimes they must pick up study materials at the school or bookstore or travel to the university or college to take exams. Such institutions usually already are accredited, but this is important, and have offices where students can easily track down answers, give perspectives, and giving prospective students less to worry about, because there may be a little bit of face-to-face interaction possible. It's as easy as using a basic search engine, which will tell you basic information about these web-based schools and their many programs, as well as their programs in person. And with research companies reporting growing numbers of students who plan to take online courses, internet-based students can look forward to easier access, better selection, and improved content in their online classrooms, whatever it is you're pursuing. So when considering what you want to do, taking a class, it's very important, it's actually essential to examine the school's accreditation credentials. If you want to have something that you can use professionally, you will definitely want to make sure that the institution you are attending is accredited. Reputable web-based and traditional colleges normally make this easy to spot. And as with anything on the internet, you should maintain an appropriate level of skepticism. If the provider's credentials are not easy to find, ask for them. Also, for professionals, it is important to always check with your specific licensing agency to ensure that any continuing education class you take, online or traditional, will meet accreditation standards. So for me as a lawyer, taking a class, but that one that doesn't necessarily is not necessarily recognized by my employer or my licensing, the bar, would not be a good idea, or it could be a waste of time and money. So ensuring accreditation is part of many continuing education students' courses, searches, and their efforts. Finding and successfully completing an unaccredited course or one without the proper accreditation can be a waste of time and money, as I said. As with anything on the internet, we have to, be careful. You do not have to be a professional looking for a continuing education class to take advantage of the countless accredited classes offered through web-based schools. If you are looking to start a new career and need to earn a certificate, or if you're interested in acquiring a new skill, chances are you can find a class on the internet. So I'm going to take you to the my next slide. Here we go. And that is about investigating. So with anything that you do, you're going to want to make sure that you don't waste your time and money. And to do this, you want to decide on what actually it is that you want to learn. And then how do you want to learn that? So deciding in person or virtual, or even a blended approach where you do a little bit of in person and a little bit of virtual learning. So basically, what's your end goal and how do you want to do it? With this in mind, you can start looking into where you want to do your learning. And learning can be done in many different ways. As I said, in person, online, blended, even volunteering is a great way to learn. So some schools offer certificate programs and accredited courses, while some others may focus on non-credit courses that allow development of a specific area of interest. And these are great for you to explore an area without committing. And if you have a university or college diploma, a degree or diploma, or if you're a professional and you're looking to keep your knowledge and skills up to date in a specific area for employment purposes, continuing education courses can definitely assist you there to upgrade and advance your skills. And when we look at virtual offerings, there are actually several completely online universities in Canada and the US. In Canada, they are the University of Fredericton, Meritus University, and Landsbridge University. At these schools, you can take an entire degree without stepping foot in the classroom. And in fact, these universities are virtual with no physical classrooms at all. These institutions, despite being virtual campuses, are accredited by the New Brunswick Department of Labor. So, good place to start. Now, many of us are more familiar with in-person learning. Certainly that's how we, got through, schooling. And if you went to a university or college, that's what you're used to. And of course, that's still available and it's still a great way to learn. So colleges, universities, and community organizations also all offer in-person learning at their campuses or offices, and can provide everything from obtaining a certificate, diploma, or degree in a field of learning, or you can use it to update your skills, learn a new language, or just even how to find a job in today's market. In-person learning offers some advantages, and it's better for persons who like hands-on learning or in skills that require hands-on learning. So also, if you like face-to-face interaction more, this is a great thing to go to. Also, you generally get quicker feedback to questions, and you also get that element of social interaction, which can lead to networking during class. It's also great for hobbies, especially through community organizations like local parks and rec, to learn a new skill like, dance, art techniques, that kind of thing. For Canadian offerings for in-person education, there is a website called educanada.ca, and it offers international students a one-stop shop to find universities in Canada, where distance learning is an option as well. Of course, these courses aren't free, being a university, but the issue, if you are viewed as an international student when you go to a university or college back in Canada or in the US, is that they may designate you as an international student, and that can lead to higher fees. So something to keep in mind and to look into when you are looking at university and college education, whether it be in person or virtually. CanadianUniversities.net also has a good website, which describes itself as Canada's higher education and career guide. So it's kind of a one-stop shop, and it's a great starting point for researching potential schools, course offerings, information about applications and fees. And they also have links to useful information and resources and the universities and colleges themselves. It's a great place to start if you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to get there. So US universities and colleges also offer the same sort of thing. And I've identified two portals that are aimed at international students. So Education USA is a US Department of State network of over 430 international student advising centers in more than 175 countries and territories. This network promotes US higher education to students around the world by offering what they call accurate, comprehensive, and current information about opportunities to study at accredited post-secondary institutions in the United States. And the other one that I identified is International USA School Search. This website touts itself as unique because it is built and maintained with the international student in mind. And the search functions on this website accept international students to over 3,000 colleges and universities. And some of the sites that they link to may include many more schools. They say they have over 7,000 because they also show colleges that accept only US students. Now, whether or not you'll be accepted as a US resident or an international student is going to be up to the individual university or college. So you can search the database by schools for criteria that matter most to you. So by degree programs, tuition range, location, public versus private, religious affiliation, sports conferences, and many other criteria. So it's not just for the adult learner, it is also for the kids coming out of high school and looking for their first university. And of course, as I said, don't forget local community colleges, recreation offerings, and community organizations. Depending on what you want to learn will determine where you want to look. For example, here in Hawaii, there are courses offered in everything from stand-up paddle boarding and surfing to learning the hula, learning how to make leis, learning how to play the ukulele, which is actually pretty difficult, I'm finding. I'm not a musically inclined person either, and a lot of them have mixed or blended learning, or even some organizations will offer things like yoga on the beach or yoga in the botanical garden, but they'll also have a mindfulness or self-care part to it. So you're not just exercising, you're learning something too. So I'm going to go on to online learning, although I've talked a bit about that already. And I just want to explain kind of what's out there. And as I said, for many institutions, especially community colleges in the US, just about every offered course that they have is also available in distance education. As I said, distance education or distance learning is also known as online or virtual learning. Exceptions to this are courses that include a hands-on aspect. So science courses with a lab component, some drama, medicine, those types of courses are more and more difficult to provide virtually. So there may be in-person courses as well. So for specific university offerings, many Canadian and American universities offer different types of adult online education, and that is geared specifically to the adult learner. So a couple of the ones, and I've actually taken courses through a couple of these. Stanford University has its own distance learning offering called Stanford Online. Harvard also does, and it's called Harvard Extension. There's also Open Yale courses, US Berkeley Class Central, MIT Open Courseware, and Carnegie Mellon Open Learning Initiative. So all of these are directed to the adult learner. And as I noted, there are also in Canada completely online universities, as there are in the States as well. So at university, online learning subjects that lend themselves to distance learning include finance and business, social sciences, languages, and most general arts. In community colleges, many continuing education courses are also offered in a distance education version, which is particularly useful for people who are currently in the workforce but want to upgrade those skills or prepare for a career change. During the course search that you'll be doing, the prospective student also learns about the minimum computer system requirements needed to enroll and participate in the class. While these course requirements vary, course providers cater to commonly used hardware and software. High-speed internet connections, Wi-Fi, and up-to-date operating systems are recommended. Most courses use a combination of media delivery software, such as QuickTime, Microsoft PowerPoint, Real Player, and others. And of course, a variety of web browser options. So whether you're a Mac person or a Windows person, you should not have great difficulty in finding something that will support your particular operating system. And a lot of these will be held over everything from Zoom to very specific types of maybe homegrown platforms that are used by the universities and colleges themselves. So some of these, may be also provided through printed correspondence, which you may receive or you may download, so readings. Then you might also receive or have to go buy a textbook. Sometimes the printed materials are supplemented by audio tapes, CD-ROMs, in TA sessions that are online. You may be assigned to a small group as well. And it's interesting because some schools even offer a component of their distance education via TV, although we're seeing also more streaming, live streaming or recorded sessions that you can go and watch at your leisure. So all of this is going to supplement the printed or online correspondence, increasingly more online. And most institutions, in addition to any printed material that they have, will offer the online format as well. So certainly I've, for myself, through my institute, I have the option of ordering the printed materials, paying an additional cost, of course, or I just download or print the materials at home from the online sources. Also, of course, there's going to be portions that foster, like a mass tutorial session, like I discussed, maybe a TA kind of session. In some places, if people are actually in close proximity to each other, there may be an in-person component and that a group can get together and discuss. Or you just may have like peer type or instructor type exams and assignments that you'll be doing. And of course, the video conferencing, it will be a part of that. If face-to-face interaction is required for the course that you're taking, it's usually done at predetermined intervals, i.e. once a week, once a month, or perhaps during final exams. In some cases, this may require you to go to the school or a designated venue itself for exams. Then there's something that's been kind of taking the distance learning forum by storm since about 2012. And those are Moocs, which is an acronym for Massive Open Online Courses. So MOOC, Moocs. Moocs are recent and widely researched development. They were first introduced in 2008, but they really have become popular since 2012. They're free online courses available for anyone to enroll. Moocs provide an affordable and flexible way to learn new skills, advance your career, and deliver quality education experiences at scale. And these can include university level courses. So an MOOC is an online course aimed at unlimited participation and open access via the web. In addition to traditional course materials, such as film lectures, readings, and problem sets or assignments, many MOOCs provide interactive courses with user forums or social media discussions to support community interactions among students, professors, and teaching assistants or TAs, as well as can provide feedback to quick quizzes and assignments, many of which are reviewed by others taking the course. So on some of these platforms, MOOC platforms, you can get an official completion certificate for a small cost, about $50 US seems to be about the average right now. So examples of popular MOOCs, one is Coursera, and it's one that I've used and quite enjoyed, and it's been very easy to use. So Coursera is a partnership with universities and organizations around the world. It has a wide variety of topics and perspectives, all in one searchable database. And it includes courses from many of the world's top universities, museums, and trusts. There is an extremely wide range of in-depth courses, and it's a great way to take something of interest to you, dabble in something, kind of check out, maybe this is an area that I might want to, be interested in to learn more, or just as a hobby. For example, I took a course, I'm a big history buff, and I took a course on the Magna Carta on its 400th anniversary, and I found that really interesting. And currently I'm taking the Science of Well-Being with Dr. Laurie Santos of Yale, and it's one of the most popular courses ever. And we, if you're watching this during the GROW conference number 2 in 2021, the professor, Dr. Santos, is actually one of our speakers. So we're very, very lucky to have her. So Coursera, the website is www.coursera.org, O-R-G. edX is also another great option for free online education. Not all courses are free on this particular site, but most are. And it's an American Mooc provider created by Harvard and MIT. And it hosts mainly online university level courses in a wide range of disciplines. And it's not just available to people in the US, it's available worldwide. It also conducts research into learning based on how people use its platform. So it's something that's constantly evolving as well. It's actually an open source platform, which is interesting because not many of them are. That website is www.edx.org. There's a ton of other popular online free education courses too. Academic Earth, iTunes University or iTunes U, Open Culture online courses, a place called Universal Class. There's 30 subject areas in this one. Udemy Inc, so U-D-E-M-Y, Inc is an American online platform aimed at professional adults and students, and it offers mainly online video classes. There are other methods of distance learning as well, or online learning as well, such as through podcasts and education videos. These are increasingly popular. I think pretty much everybody at this point has listened to some sort of podcast, whether it's on true crime, music. I listen to something called History Chicks, as well as What You Missed in History class, and really enjoy those. As I said, I'm a history buff. And you can find, you can just download an app and search through their catalog to see something that is interesting to you. Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Pocket Casts, and Overcast are great places to find such podcasts. There's also something called The Great Courses. It's a series of college-level audio and video courses produced and distributed by an American company called The Teaching Company. You can subscribe to the site for a specific period of time or purchase courses individually. And they also have some offered on the Amazon audio book application, Audible. Courses are also offered on DVDs or audio CDs or on the internet for download or streaming. So that is The Great Courses. I mentioned iTunes University. If you're an Apple person, that's a great place to find any kind of podcasts that are supported by them. And there's a ton of other places that have podcasts, like the University of London and University of Oxford. They have some really interesting ones, and some of it's very in-depth. BBC podcasts as well. The Brits seem to like to do a lot of podcasts. TED Ed, so TED Talks, everybody's heard of those. Well, TED Ed is the forum where you can go and listen to or watch their short videos or podcasts that they have. It also includes supplemental materials and quizzes on the videos. So if you want to get a little bit more into it, you've got that opportunity. And then when we're talking about personal fulfillment and interest, online learning is a great place to go because there's just so much out there available to courses that you can do. I mentioned, I'm taking an online course to learn the ukulele, which is a local Hawaiian instrument here. as much as it probably would be better to learn certain things in person right now with COVID, that's not always possible, but that doesn't have to stop you. You know, I take online courses in yoga, I take online courses in, you know, like a topic, well, mostly history for me because I like it so much. I listen to podcasts quite often, and I also, you know, I'm trying to think of what I've done in the past. I've also done some music and some dance. So don't let COVID-19 right now stop you from your learning goals. And I've listed in the appendix, I'm just give you a quick view of it right now, but I've listed in the appendix, in the second one, a few personal fulfillment and interest websites. And these are really, really just the tip of the iceberg. So animation, cooking, drawing, makeup and beauty, yoga, coding and creating an app, knitting, magic, dance, writing, jewelry making, languages, photography, starting a blog, and sculpting are just a few of the areas that are great for this, for that. So I'm going to move on to resources. So there aren't a lot of resources for payment or financial help. And the only one that I can point out to you is the Foreign Service Directive 17.3 about professional retraining. It's very specific, but it is something that may be available to some of you. And of course, university, college, and educational institutions, there's tons out there. You just have to start. It helps to have a plan when you're starting to look, because it can be overwhelming otherwise. And there's also some articles I wanted to put out there about adult online learning and where to start. There's two good articles I have linked here that I hope will be of use to everybody. So just to give you a little bit of idea of what Foreign Service Directive 17.3 talks about, is it's for a spouse or common law partner residing with an employee at post to accredited, and who is also accredited to a professional association in Canada, was employed in the relevant profession within 1 year prior to the departure from Canada, and is required to undergo retraining for professional certification at the level previously held in order to be employed upon return to Canada. So there's a lot of you know, clauses in there, but it may be available to some of you, and that would be really great. It says that the maximum that can be reimbursed if you qualify for this particular benefit is $1,000. So something to keep in mind. So I'm just gonna finish up the talk about adult education. I hope you've learned something, and if you have any questions, definitely, you know, reach out to your coordinator at MFS US, or you can reach out to me as well, Jen Hockey. I am the coordinator in Hawaii. So my email, should have put that there, but my email is mfs.hawaii@cfmws.com. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that come out of this particular adult education session, or any general questions that you may have. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little talk, and I wish you all the best luck on whatever type of learning you end up doing and how you do it. And I hope you enjoy it. And as a plug for a lifelong learner, I really hope that you are someone that sees the benefit of it and has a great time just learning throughout your life. Thank you.